Hi there, my name is Caitlin Bandy and this is my channel BandysBooks, and today is Tuesday, so we're back with a Tag Tuesday video. Today I'm going to be doing that I'm under the influence tag. This was originally created by a book Olive, but I saw it last week on another Bibliophile Reads channel and Greg did a lovely video, so I thought I would go ahead and jump in on this one too. Let's just jump right into it. Question number one is, what is a fantastic book that you were recommended by a booktuber, or conversely, a book that you were dissuaded from reading by a booktuber? So the only real specific example I can think of is recently I watched a video with Cindy, and she was talking about the book Baby Teeth and why it was just such a ridiculous book and she didn't recommend it at all. That video is hilarious. If you're into watching like a rant video, she has some of the best that I've seen, and that definitely dissuaded me from wanting to read Baby Teeth. But as for the positive, I feel like I hear about the same book so much by so many different people. I haven't been the best about like writing down who I saw the book from first, but I definitely think in 2023 I should do better with that. I should probably write down like, oh, I heard about this book from this person. I will say that there are several channels that I follow regularly that do excellent book reviews. One being Kimberly Reads. She's a newer booktube channel, still kind of growing, and if you like reviews, she does really excellent, deep, thoughtful reviews very regularly. It's one of my favorite things that she shoots. I also follow Gunpowder Fiction Plot, and he does lots of lovely reviews as well. He's actually quite witty, and I really enjoy his review content. I especially appreciate that I find out about a lot of books I'm unaware of from him because he's in Australia, and obviously there's different books that are popular at different times over there than here. So I find a lot of books that I might not have on my radar otherwise. I think I follow a whole bunch of other booktubers that are in like specific niches that make me aware of books that I might not be aware of in specific genres. But I would say that those two are like more general across a lot of different categories. Oh, and Bow Ties and Books is their name as well. I think I follow their reviews quite a bit as well. I think they do an excellent job of reviewing diverse literature. So those would probably be my 4 people that I think I go to for reviews the most. Question 2, has BookTube opened your mind to or changed your mind regarding any genres? So I think that even before BookTube, I was a pretty diverse reader. I kind of spanned most genres. I definitely probably lacked on like sci-fi and romance and maybe in like literary fiction. I would say that since joining BookTube, I've certainly been exposed to more literary fiction than I had previously, so I'm definitely reading more of that. And sci-fi I always enjoyed, but I guess for whatever reason, it's like one of those ones that I kind of periodically forget that I enjoy, and then I read a couple sci-fi books and go, oh my gosh, this is amazing, and then get back into it. Romance is probably still one that I haven't really had my mind changed on. I have found some romance books that were somewhat enjoyable for me, but it's definitely not a genre that I enjoy and as a whole, and I don't think that BookTube has really changed that for me significantly. Question 3, how much time did you spend on YouTube prior to BookTube, and how much time do you spend on YouTube now? So prior to BookTube, I maybe spent 1 or 2 hours a week on YouTube. Usually I would just use it to like look up information if I was trying to learn something new, trying to find out information about a specific skill, or I would occasionally, when I'm stressed out, like I'll comfort watch reruns of an old TV show that I like really loved, but that's about it. Now that I'm involved in BookTube, I tend to spend at least an hour a day, I think, on YouTube. I try to watch at least a couple different, videos throughout the day of different booktubers, just so that I can be involved in the community, be aware of what's going on here, leave people comments. I've received a lot of very nice, kind support, so I want to try to reciprocate that support as much as possible. I do work full time, so it is hard to get as much done as I want and like watch as much as I want. So I do have to limit it a little bit, but yeah, maybe about an hour a day now. Question 4, how many books did you read before BookTube? How many books do you read now? So we're gonna go with like on a monthly basis. I would say that it kind of ebbs and flows throughout my life and like what's going on, what's catching my interest. When I was younger, I would definitely read quite a few books per month. And then there's been periods in my adult life where I'm maybe reading a couple books a month, and then other periods where I'm reading as much as possible. Right now, I'm probably averaging between 20 to 30 books a month, and that's because I have a job that allows me to read a lot more and a lot more like structure. I guess the way that my job is set up, I have more time outside of work to prioritize that, and I'm not traveling the way that I used to right now, just with all the pandemic and the COVID, and just the last couple years have been weird. So since I'm here more, it's allowed me more time to have like a library and read my books and get back into that. Whereas a couple years ago, I was out traveling So, you know, you can't carry a lot of books with you when you're traveling, and I'm not a big e-reader fan. So that definitely cut down the amount of reading I was doing at that time. But yeah, I would say that consistently, like if you look at the average throughout my life, I've probably averaged at least 10 books per month, obviously trending higher now. But yeah, I don't feel like I suddenly just became a voracious reader because I found BookTube. I think it just happens to be at a time in my life where my life fits the ability to read more. Question 5, has BookTube affected your book buying habits, and are you pleased or displeased by this? So I would say that BookTube definitely has dented my pocket a bit in terms of book buying. I think it's a combination. It's not just BookTube. I would say it's BookTube and Bookstagram. I see all these pretty shiny new books that seem really interesting to me that I just want to read, and I try to resist the urge to buy everything that I want. I try to like get stuff at the library and then go, if I really like this book, then I'll buy it. But obviously, as you can see behind me, I have pretty massive amount of books, and this is only one shelving section. I have another shelf across my living room. I have a cart full of paperbacks. I have a huge shelf full of cookbooks, and then I have a bunch of shelving in my bedroom for all my series. So slowly I'm going to be able to build a house out of books eventually. And definitely I think BookTube kind of enhances that. I think on my own I still have a tendency to buy a significant amount of books. I did have a decent collection of books before I got into BookTube. It just has kind of, you know, exacerbated the problem, I suppose. Number 6, has a BookTuber's review ever made you retroactively reconsider your stance on a book? So no, not usually. I feel like I usually take time to process my feelings around a book before I'll write a review or make a review video. I don't really like to do it impulsively because sometimes obviously our impulsive feelings are not fair feelings. And I don't ever want to bash a writer just because I felt some type of way. I like to let my feelings settle and think it through and try to be at least somewhat objective. Obviously reviews are based on personal feelings. I'm not trying to say that I don't put my personal feelings into reviews, just that I do try to temper my personal feelings with some objective stuff as well. That said, I think there's one instance where I can point specifically to a booktuber's review making me at least consider some stuff in a book that didn't really occur to me. And that would be Bowties and Books. They did a review of The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I actually didn't really love that book. It was like a 3-star read for me. It was just okay. It wasn't all that, and it was frustrating because it was so hyped at the time. It was like everywhere on all the social media channels. You would think it was the best book ever written. So for me, it was just so-so. The story was okay. I really disliked the ending of the book. I had major problems with it on my own. And then I saw Bowties and Books review about why the ending might be slightly problematic and why it just, for them, didn't work especially. And it made me consider a couple things that as a white person, I don't know that I necessarily would have picked up on. And so it didn't necessarily change my stance on the book or change my rating of the book, only changed some perspective that I don't think naturally would have occurred to me, I guess. Question number 7. Are there any videos that you've been inspired to make by other booktubers, or how about a type of style that you've seen on other booktubes? So I would say that there's quite a few videos that I have watched by other booktubers that I'm like, oh, I want to make something like that. Have I been successful in doing so? Not really. have not been the most consistent content creator because, you know, I've been dealing with sickness and a lot of different stuff. So going forward, trying to be more consistent, I definitely am kind of keeping my pulse on what things are popular. I definitely do things like unboxings and hauls and TBRs and end of month wrap ups, and those are not inspired by one specific booktuber. That's just, I feel like, inspired by booktube in general. As for style, I don't know that there's one specific style that inspires me. I do notice that a lot of people tend to niche down more significantly in booktube. So, you have someone that's all about literary fiction, or somebody that's all about philosophy, or somebody that's all about, romance. And that's really cool. I'm super excited about that. I love that I know okay, I need to go to this person for, contemporary fiction, and this person for sci-fi, and this person for fantasy. That's all wonderful. I'm kind of a broad spectrum reader. I enjoy most genres. And so I tend to just kind of do what I want. I guess I haven't niched down, and maybe that has prevented my channel from growing as far as it could because I don't have a specific niche. But that's kind of my thing. I just like to read what I enjoy when I enjoy it. Sometimes I want fantasy, sometimes I want sci-fi, sometimes I want a really dark and gritty police crime novel, you know, like that's kind of my style. And while there are other booktube channels that do that, I don't think that any one specific channel has made me be like, oh, I need to just do whatever I want. Most of the time, honestly, it's just me watching other people with their really beautifully curated bookshelves with their fairy lights and, you know, their hair perfectly done and their makeup perfectly done and their cute outfits going like, and it's me just going like, man, I wish I looked that flawless. I, you know, am in my pajamas, my hair's been brushed at some point today. I have no makeup on, and I have managed to coordinate my shelves. That's like my only real, you know, super aesthetic thing here. But otherwise, we keep it pretty low maintenance. Question 8, what are some pressures you feel on your reading life because of your booktube channel? I don't really think that I feel too much pressure on my reading life. I would say I feel more pressure on my after work nighttime life because, you know, I want to come home and decompress and like relax and read or watch TV or cook. And then I'm like, oh, I got to shoot a YouTube video. Oh, I got to edit the video. Oh, I got to get it uploaded. So that is probably the most pressure that comes from the booktube is, you know, processing these videos. I think that is what adds the pressure. The pressure to read, like I'm in a point in my life where I really enjoy reading pretty voraciously and I get through a lot of books a month pretty easily and comfortably. I don't feel a lot of pressure like to hit a specific number. And in fact, like last year when I had a month where I didn't even hit 20 books, I was just like, that's fine, whatever, like no big deal to me. So I don't feel a pressure to read a specific quantity. I don't feel any pressure to read a specific type of book. As I said, I just read what I want when I want, as I enjoy it. So I don't feel like, oh, I have to read like YA or I have to read, you know, horror or whatever. I just, you know, I do what I want basically. And if there's other people that enjoy that, cool. And if not, that's cool too. Question 9, in what ways do you feel the social element of booktube and the community has influenced your reading? So I don't know that I feel like it's influenced the reading significantly and like that it's changed my reading. I just feel like I have friends to share what I read with now, which is probably the best part. I love being able to talk to people about books and share my love of books with someone. I just think that that community aspect of booktube has like allowed me to really explore what I enjoy about books, really share that passion with other people, enjoy other people's passion too. I think it's just such a beautiful thing to be able to like log on to YouTube any day at any time and find a video that's about something that I really enjoy by somebody that I enjoy watching. So that's probably the thing that's influenced my reading the most. Question 10, what impact do you hope that your booktube channel will have on the community and or aspiring booktubers? So I don't know if I have a specific impact in mind. I would just say that, you know, I started this channel a couple years back. I've kind of, you know, life has gotten in the way of doing it as consistently as I've liked. When I first started, I was really shy about being on the camera, really uncomfortable speaking publicly, really self-conscious. I felt like I had to edit the hell out of every video. And now I'm like in my pajamas with my hair unbrushed, you know, no makeup on, and probably visible eye bags, just sitting here talking about books. And it's beautiful that I haven't like received a bunch of flack or criticism. So I guess I would say to any aspiring booktubers that just do it, take the risk, join the community, jump in the deep end. Like everybody here is pretty friendly. I don't really see a lot of hostility. Every once in a while I see a little bit of gatekeeping in terms of like, oh, you're not a real fan if you haven't read this. But for the most part, I think it's a pretty welcoming community and not a super judgy community either. So if you're watching this video and you're thinking about doing it, do it. That's what I hope that my channel would tell you, is just do it. Like take the chance, have fun with it, and just do what you can. You don't have to be here every single day posting videos constantly. Just, you know, do what you enjoy, and that's it. So I'm gonna end this by tagging a couple people in this video. I'm gonna tag Books and Cooks and Brandon's Bookshelf, and I think we'll tag Kayla Ray Reads. All three are awesome channels. If you don't already follow them, definitely check them out. You should. And that's about it. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up, comment down below, and let me know what book have you read specifically because of booktube. And other than that, if you're not already subscribed to this channel, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button and make sure you turn on the notifications so you never miss a video. Other than that, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, bye.